I know this is your life. I know you go out, you have fun. A lot of crazy experiences with friends, a lot of work you're getting done, a lot of travel you're doing, the new whip that you got, the new car, the new friends, the new crazy experiences, going to music festivals, going to the club, going to party with the girls, with the boys, everything. Like, the DJ, everything is amazing. You're like an extroverted person. You've got so many friends around that make you feel amazing, like you're the king of the world. But there's one thing which happens every time. That's something that you might not be aware about yourself as well. You might not be saying the same thing to yourself as well. And this might be a revelation for you, but hear me out. But as soon as you come back home, out of all the work that you did, the travel, the experiences, the crazy experiences that you had, once you're back home, when there's no one, that's where you feel lonely again. That's where you feel that there's a deep void inside you, that no matter how many crazy experiences you have, no matter how much you escape into the other things using travel and money and substances and stimulants, that void of loneliness never goes away. And you always have this sinking feeling inside that when am I going to be enough? That I wish there was someone to complete me. I wish that if I have these experiences, I wish this would stay. But all they do is they're just transient, leaving you empty when you come back home, thinking to yourself that what's the point of this? Let's talk about it in this video. Hi, welcome to High Cycle. My name is Kshitij and I help high performers like you build self-worth and get off the hamster wheel. Now, today's video we're talking about the void of loneliness. What usually happens is, why we feel this void of loneliness, that no matter what we do, we come back home, we still feel lonely, we want someone else to complete us. This has a lot to do with the childhood experiences that we've had before, the way our upbringing has been. Couple of experiences shape our internal working model. These experiences make us feel like we're not good enough. These experiences make us feel like things are missing. So while growing up, we've got certain needs. If those needs are not met, like the need of love, validation, play, companionship, if those needs are not met, we spend our entire life trying to meet that need, trying to fulfill that need. What are some of these difficult experiences? One of the most difficult ones could be abandonment. If someone left you, then we always feel like someone is always going to leave us. And we grew up without a parent, that there is a void that never got fulfilled. And we're trying to fulfill that void by having amazing experiences, or by just meeting more people, or by just having a lot of sex. We're just trying to mask this feeling of loneliness inside. Another reason that could be happening is the way you were punished. When we're punished in a way to discipline us, and we're punished to, maybe we're locked up in a room where we're not allowed to talk, where it's very scary for us, where we're locked in a room where the lights are not there, that leads to this. That leads to us feeling lonely when we grow up, because the fear is out there. That really kills us. Another reason could be that your parents were rejecting. When you wanted to play with them, they were never available to you. So because they were never available to you, you had to do everything on your own. You felt lonely, that I wish my parents were there to spend some time with me. Even to an extent that when they'd be working at home, you'd go up to them with like a ball or something and want to play with them, or maybe your doll, but your parent would be like, I'm too busy right now, go away. Don't disturb me. Another scenario, maybe there are guests right now, or your parents, again, they feel they have to work, or they have to entertain the guests, or they're doing something. They tell you to go upstairs and sit very quietly. Only if you sit quietly, you're a good boy, and mommy will be very proud of you. Dad will be very proud of you, only if you sit quietly. So now you're there sitting as a child, quietly waiting for your mom to come. This longing that my mom will come, or my father will come and hold me and finally play with me. But most of the time, sometimes even, maybe they forget. Or maybe they feel that you've been such a good boy, and now you get praise for that because you were so quiet, you're such a good boy. So now you generally don't want to play, but the feeling of loneliness inside is there, and the playful side isn't there. Another reason is, if we grow up without friends, we grow up without any companions, we grow up without not being able to express our playful side with other people, we feel that void inside of us, because for a child, it's very important to have friends. Because that's how we grow, that's how we learn, that's how we feel companionship. Because growing up with the parents is amazing. But when we have people our own age, that's when we can feel like we belong with them. Now, all of these experiences left an unmet need inside that we're trying to fulfill even now. That we're trying to find ways to maybe feel the love, that attention, that companionship, that playfulness, that maybe someone is there so that we don't feel so lonely. Or maybe someone comes along who will never leave us again. And the pain of that is huge. Huge pain. Somehow we dealt with. while growing up, we dealt with that pain. One of the ways to deal with that pain was trying to escape it, trying to go out with friends and having surface level interactions, having crazy experiences because they stimulate us so much and they numb down the pain inside, indulging in substances, traveling and escaping and doing these things which are just new every time, and just falling into this escapist mentality of just escaping and going and doing something else. And this was very important to us for us to survive. These are the coping strategies that we developed that helped us survive. And all the experiences that we mentioned, these can be very traumatic. So in a way, what trauma does is it makes us either hyper aroused or it makes us numb. So if we're hyper aroused, we might do some things to numb ourselves down, or if we're numb, we might do some things that will excite us more. Couple of examples of these could be food addictions, drug addiction, stimulant addiction, alcohol addiction, work addiction, or even cutting ourselves, escaping, going into more and more travel, having a lot of friends, not wanting to connect deeply with one person. These are some of the ways which we use to cope with the pain inside that we've learned. And that has become a conditioning right now. And that has been the pattern that anytime pain is there, anytime we feel lonely, we need to go out and seek and we need to calm that down. But now that we've grown up, there are other ways for you to do it. There are other more functional ways to do it rather than indulging in a dysfunction or a compulsion to do something. I'm going to mention some of the ways out here. First thing you have to do is you have to understand that this is a very real phenomena that happens. And if this is you might be just going outside and just chasing new things all the time. So one thing we can do is we can start to reduce the chasing of new experiences every time and being more present with ourselves and our feelings and what we're going through at that time. Learning how to regulate the emotions is another thing. Meditation helps, breath work helps, yoga, going out there, doing certain activities, doing activities that involve the body is going to be important. Also, as a coping mechanism, the body learns to dissociate as well. So for us to start feeling the sensations in the body and to let go of the numbing, and for us to be more aware of the body, indulging in martial arts and the physical activities where our body is involved is going to be very, very important to us. And it's going to start the journey of healing. One of the core issue from where loneliness comes out is not being able to meet a need of companionship or play. So what you can do is you can start to have those playful activities that you loved as a child, maybe drawing or maybe just playing with toys, maybe going out there and playing with kids. That can be very helpful. At the same time, having a companion, because if you grew up without a companion, it'd be very helpful if you can find some friends that can be a companion of you, possibly while doing activities that you're going to be taking up, like playing a sport or yoga or dance or anything like that. And when we can have those companions, we can play around with them and we can take care of ourselves as well. And indulging that with play and companionship is going to be absolutely essential. The final tip out here is, rather than trying to cultivate just surface level relationships, try to cultivate more deeper, meaningful relationships. The way we start to do this is we start to be more vulnerable and open ourselves up to other people and start to trust them that they can be there for us as well. Having an inner circle of friends who are going to be there for you, or having a community where you're a part of, is going to be immensely helpful, because now you can give yourself the proof, not just the promise, you can give yourself the proof and start to build reference experiences that when I have an inner circle of friends, they are there for me and I am there for them. And now there is companionship and they're not going to leave me, or abandonment is not going to happen. So when you give yourself those references, you start to change inside. And now you're doing self-care as well. You're taking care of yourself. You're going out to play. A lot of things you're doing out here. Now, if you want to go deeper with this and you want to be a part of community as well, the High Cycle program that we have, we've got a community aspect to it that is one of the most essential ones, where you can share your things with other people, where everyone shares things with each other, where you can be there for the other person as well. And that really helps you out. So if you want to be a part of it, you can schedule a free call with us to see if it's even a good fit for you. It's going to be an in-depth call where we're going to see what are the problems you're going through right now. What are the subconscious patterns that maybe you're also not even aware of? What were the experiences that you had growing up that led to you having these kinds of problems right now? And then what you can do about it. And then if it makes sense for you, if it's the right fit for you, we can decide to go ahead and work together with it. So if you want some high-level insight and some breakthroughs on your situation right now, just go on the link below, click on it, schedule a free call with us, and we'll help you out. And that's going to be all from our side. My name is Kshitij, signing off with the High Cycle. I'll see you guys soon. Peace out.